What if I told you that you're risking your retirement by eating the rainbow your doctor has been praising for decades? And what if I told you that the Mediterranean diet, celebrated as the gold standard of healthy eating, could actually speed up your decline instead of protecting you? Now, this isn't true for everyone, but if you are like me, someone who's succeeded at almost everything in life except lasting weight loss, the very foods we were told to trust may never have been our solution at all. And that's why what I'm about to tell you could challenge everything you think you know about healthy eating. But it may be the key to reclaiming your energy and protecting the retirement that you worked a lifetime for. Hi, I'm Sharrell. I'm 65 and living in the mountains of central Mexico with my husband, Andy, and my service dog, Sebastian. I'm not a doctor or a health guru or a shiny Instagram success story. I'm an ordinary retiree who has been on a 100-pound weight loss roller coaster for 45 years. Last year, I was featured 3 times in Women's World magazine, once on the cover with Dr. Anthony Chafee for losing 100 pounds, 70 of it on Carnivore. But then I bounced right back up 50 pounds. And I finally realized something bigger is going on with me and food. So I created this channel to find answers, keep myself accountable, and build a community of people like me who don't want food to quietly steal their retirement dreams. Now, if you can eat a slice of cake or drink a glass of wine without triggering days of cravings, this video, it's not for you. This is for those of us who can win at everything else in life, but fail when it comes to food. If you're over 55, you've probably tried it all. Weight Watchers, Mediterranean, South Beach, Keto, plant-based, paleo, low-fat. I could go on, but you know, you've counted points, you tracked macros, you filled your plate with colorful vegetables, and you said no to dessert. And yet, you're still overweight, still have low energy, stiff, achy, pre-diabetic, or worse yet, type 2. And every year you find yourself taking more medications that don't seem to solve the problems. Your doctor tells you it's just normal aging, but what if it isn't? And let me take on your first objection, but Sharrell, aren't I supposed to eat less and move more? Hey, if that worked, none of us would be here. I ate less, exercised, lived in calorie deficit for years, and like so many of you, I still got heavier, sicker, and more exhausted. The truth is twofold. You can't exercise your way out. The solution is on your plate. But that leads to the second and even bigger truth that you have probably never heard. It's something called the carnivore connection. It doesn't apply to everyone, but it may apply to you. This isn't some fringe internet fad. It's based on studies published in multiple peer-reviewed journals, and I have more information on that in the description below this video. For nearly 2 million years, humans survived ice ages by eating mostly animal foods, meat, fat, organs, because carbs were rare. And those who thrived developed what they are calling thrifty genes. And to preserve glucose for the brain, they became insulin resistant. Then agriculture appeared just 10,000 years ago, which is a blink in evolutionary time. And some populations adapted, and the truth is others didn't, like the Pima tribe in the American Southwest. They are a recent and tragic example. For generations, they thrived as hunter-gatherers, but then they were forced onto a modern high-carb diet just a few generations ago, and their diabetes rates exploded to some of the highest in the world. So you see this? It isn't about willpower. It's genetics colliding with the wrong food environment for your genes. Modern humans now exist along a metabolic spectrum, from those who can eat junk food and remain healthy, and never gain weight, and we hate them. To those like Michaela Peterson, who are so sensitive to modern food, they can only eat meat, water, and salt to function. Now, most of us fall across the middle, but if you have tried diet after diet only to fail, the odds are you're closer to the sensitive side of this spectrums, which explains why diets like the Mediterranean diet, hailed as the healthiest diet on earth, might be sabotaging your health. And here's the challenge. How do you even know if that is you? Well, that is why I created something I wish I'd had 30 years ago. I called it the body warning system your doctor never taught you. It helps you spot red flags for inflammation, hidden carb and sugar addiction, and overlooked conditions like lipedema that most doctors miss. Just drop checklists in the comment below and I'll send you the link. It's free. When it comes to the Mediterranean diet, let's confront the obvious objection here. But Sharrell, don't Mediterranean populations live longer? Yep, for the most part, they're in the metabolic middle. The Mediterranean diet works beautifully for them. But for those of us, like I said, on the sensitive side, that diet is a minefield. First, it's carb heavy with daily fruit, grain, and loads of veggies, and often not enough protein, which for us, thrifty genes, creates a repeated insulin spike that overload the pancreas, and over time our cells just turn off, stop responding. Second, it's mixed fuels, and for those of us, that combination is disaster. Pasta with cheese, bread with olive oil. For us, thrifty genes, carbs, and fat cause constant insulin spikes, and that blocks fat burning. And third, it's a grazing culture now. Fruit snacks, nightly wine, cheese here, 6 meals there, and that keeps our insulin spiking all day. And that is a dangerous trifecta for us with thrifty genes because we never get into fat burning, even when calories are cut to starvation. So I want you to be sure and share this video with someone who needs to hear this. For people with sensitive metabolisms, diets like keto and the Mediterranean, they are not healing diets. They are pouring fuel on the fire. So while your neighbor, lucky neighbor, thrives on olive oil and bread, you would gain weight, hurt more, feel worse. And the thing is, it's even sneakier than that because some of us, it's not just carbs. It's the taste of sweetness itself. Our brain is hijacked even when sweetness is from fruit and honey. Studies show that any kind of sweet taste spikes insulin and triggers the brain's reward pathways. It isn't your imagination. For some of us, a single apple fires up cravings just like a donut. The food industry, they know this. That's why sugar hides in everything from ketchup to bread to salad dressing. It is engineered addiction. And NIH studies show that rats will choose sugar over cocaine even when they are Coke addicts. And even worse, artificial sweeteners, they fool your tongue, but not your brain. Your brain expects the calories, it doesn't get them, and it starts screaming to find the real thing. And that's why you raid the kitchen even after dinner looking for something more. But you know what? You can't get enough. So if you're like I was and you didn't know any of this, you try harder. You strive for perfection. But the more perfect you do it, the more fired up your brain becomes. And the cravings escalate. The only way some people can reset is by cutting sweet taste entirely, letting the palate and the reward system calm down. And this is why the Mediterranean diet, with its daily fruit and wine, can quietly keep you locked in dysfunction. And here's why the battle gets harder and more urgent every decade. At 30, your body has buffers. At 55, those buffers are gone. Muscle mass declines every decade, hormones shift, insulin resistance creeps higher every year, and recovery slows down to a crawl. The foods you've been told are healthy staples as you age are accelerating that decline. Oatmeal with blueberries, veggie bowls, whole wheat toast, granola. For thrifty genes like mine, these aren't longevity foods, they are accelerants. And I hear you, but Sharrell, aren't fruits and vegetables full of fabulous antioxidants? Yep. But antioxidants can't undo constant insulin spikes. So for sensitive metabolisms like ours, the glucose damage dwarfs the antioxidant benefits. Which brings us to the root of the problem, the nutrition advice itself. The food pyramid, that may work for those in the middle of the spectrum, but not for those of us down here on the end. And everything in moderation, that is built on the assumption that everyone processes carbs the same, or even worse, those who aren't addicted to sugar and processed carbs. But if you are insulin resistant or addicted, even so-called healthy carbs can be toxic to you. It's not your fault. Like the Pima tribe, you've been trying to cram Ice Age genetics into a modern agricultural system. Some thrive on plants and grains. Others, especially later in life, only thrive when they return to their carnivorous inheritance. Here's what your doctor tells you every single appointment, because it's been what they were taught to believe, so they do believe it. We're just getting older. But I want you to think about this differently. Those mysterious symptoms are not mysterious at all when you finally understand what's really happening inside your body. That 3 p.m. crash, it's not because you're 65. It's because your carb-heavy lunch spiked your insulin so hard that your blood sugar crashed 2 hours later, leaving your brain starving for fuel. Those achy, stiff joints when you wake up, that's arthritis caused by chronic inflammation from the foods your body treats as foreign invaders. The same healthy whole grains and fruits you eat every day because you think you're being good. That brain fog that makes you forget names or lose your train of thought. Here's the terrifying truth of that. It could be early stage dementia or Alzheimer's brewing, and insulin resistance is feeding it. Alzheimer's is now being called type 3 diabetes because emerging research is showing that insulin resistance literally blocks glucose from reaching the brain cells. That tossing and turning at 2 a.m. wide awake for no reason, it's your blood sugar on a roller coaster from dinner's complex carbs, and your stress hormones are firing to bring it back up. And that bloated, uncomfortable feeling after every single meal, that's from decades of processed foods that have damaged your gut lining. Your digestive system is in full revolt. What if I told you there is another path? What if your blood pressure normalized, your blood sugar stabilized, and your inflammation markers dropped? Not from adding medications, but from removing the foods that were causing the problems in the first place. Combine that with adding more of the food that will allow your body to start healing, and you could see many of these conditions dramatically change. Some reverse completely, like insulin resistance, many cases of type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. Others improve significantly or slow their progression. The truth is that for people like us with thrifty genes, the answer might be returning to what our genetics expect, an animal-based approach. And in 2023, Andy and I experienced incredible results from eating carnivore for just 7 months. And yes, we fell back into the carb ditch and undid all the gains in 2024. But we are back on track again. Now, before you think, isn't red meat bad for my heart? Here is what the latest research is actually showing. It isn't the meat that is causing the problems. It's the combination of the meat with processed carbs and sugars that cause insulin resistance that leads to inflammation. For people with sensitive metabolisms, an animal-based reset can break the sweet taste trap and restore insulin sensitivity in as little as 90 days. When you remove the carbs, the meat becomes healing fuel, not a harmful burden. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a forever choice for everyone. The key is to do it long enough to reverse insulin resistance, lower inflammation, and figure out what your body actually needs to thrive. Think about your last doctor's visit. Did you leave with another prescription? And did that prescription come with a list of side effects that might require another prescription? The bottom line is you have far more control than your doctor has led you to believe. What's it worth to explore those European castles instead of watching from a bench? What's it worth to keep up with your grandkids instead of watching from the sidelines? Your body is trying to tell you something, and it is time to listen. The food on your plate is either going to fuel your dreams or destroy them. And the choice, it's still yours, but the window is closing. Are you going to keep feeding the problem with healthy carbs, or are you going to starve insulin resistance before it steals your retirement? Andy and I, we're not success stories yet. We are success stories in progress. And we want to build this community with you so we can all succeed together, because I know it's possible. One day at a time, one meal at a time. And if you are struggling, I want you to check out my Climb Out of the Carb Ditch playlist, where I share video by video how we got out, our highs, our lows, and everything in between. And subscribe if you want the real story about life after 55, not just the sanitized version. What actually works when mainstream advice fails you? Your retirement dreams are waiting, but they need a body that can actually live them. So let's figure it out together.